Welcome to Intoned.
Welcome to Intoned.
Cheers.
Here we are again.
Oh, you have a little chip. Did you know?
I do, because these glasses are glasses that could no longer be used at the fancy restaurant that I used to work at.
I did know that. Yeah.
And I used a glass file. Because why waste it? I'm going to break it eventually anyway. Yeah, see, this one's chipped here.
She breaks my glasses. She breaks her glasses.
I lose my eyeglasses. I lose her eyeglasses.
I don't have eyeglasses, but when I do, you'll lose them.
Yeah. It's a problem. It's a problem. Hey,
no, I would be mad at you if you did that just for future Paige Brenda. I would be upset if you lost my eyeglasses. Break glasses all you want.
Like sunglasses?
Like if I need, like for...
Prescription.
Yeah.
But sunglasses. Would you care?
It would depend on the pair.
Okay, I'm not going to lose your eyeglasses because I know that's important. It's the things I don't think of as super important.
So I won't let you touch my sunglasses, no problem.
Great.
Quick side tangent.
How was your week?
I feel like I had a good week. Oh, I did, because I'm coming off of a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even remember this week, but that's because it's in the past. I'm on my final day, so I am having a little bit of the Sunday scaries. It's Monday.
Sorry, I just totally went on a... No, keep going. I'm having an intrusive thought. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is it?
There's like a line, I don't know if it's like Lion King or Toy Story, about everything all being in the past, and you put your behind in the past.
Oh, no, I don't know what you're referring to. Anyhow, I don't know what I'm saying, but anyhow, I'm having some Monday scaries. Because I could definitely use, it's rainy here. It's like, oh, I could keep not working as well. But it's okay. I had a lovely 4-day weekend
I could spend a whole week doing more research on the topic we're talking about today, which I've been doing months of research, and I am not satisfied. That's what I would do if I didn't have to work all week.
You're like doing a PhD on
dystopian
fiction.
I mean,
fiction.
Welcome to our episode on dystopian fiction.
Little did you know it's a new genre. Brenda made it up.
Yeah, and you're allowed to do that in dystopian. You make up your own languages.
That's true.
So
it's part of it.
Welcome. Are we talking about what's on our nightstand?
Oh, yeah. I brought my nightstand books with me.
Tell me about your nightstand books.
Come prepared.
What are you reading?
Well, I had to pause some of them. So one of them I told you about the last episode, which is Caste.
Oh, yeah. I also paused that.
I'm still working on this. I listen to it in the morning as I get ready. And then I didn't tell you about this, but I started it right after our last episode. Since Brenda spoke so highly of it, I was amazing. Like, I'm going to read this again. Or for the first time, I cannot remember.
You're like a third into it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, so those are the two things I'm reading, and then obviously I just finished reading 2 of the books we're going to talk about today. So I had to pause these.
Yeah, I had to pause Caste because I was also trying to read. I was still trying to select the 1960s and 1940s choice for today. And I got halfway through several books from each decade, and then I was like, this is not the book I want to talk about. And so then I had to go find another one. So I had a lot of, and we'll talk about some today, DNFs. But what else did I read? Because mostly those.
Oh.
What?
Oh, I don't know why, but well, whatever, never mind.
Oh, but I also had been listening to Caste, and then I'm randomly listening to a romance book that my friend recommended called Boy.
It's British.
Boy. This is great. Doing great. I have a really good memory. If I haven't mentioned this before, it's why I have to take copious notes. Boyfriend material. Very close. Yeah, it's a 2 men posing as boyfriends because they need to look a certain way, and then but it's cute, and as needing a break and having, I do love any narrator that doesn't have an American accent. I find soothing, so I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I picked up books I want to read, but I'm not going to talk about those yet because I haven't started them. I have a whole stack down here below the bookshelf of books I got from the library. Actually, I am going to talk about them. Hello.
Hi.
I'm super excited. Ew.
That's not good.
Something sticky. Good thing it's a library book because it's covered in plastic. My sister recommended this YA book. Great cover, Break Wide the Sea. So I'm looking forward to that because it sounds like a nice break. And then I've been wanting to read this book purely because of the title, The Alehouse at the End of the World.
Oh, that's a good title.
It's a great title.
Yeah,
I don't actually know anything about it.
I want to read that England or Scotland.
Yeah. And this is one of those books where I don't read what it's about.
Is it adult or you don't know
It is
anything?
adult, but I don't know anything about what it's about. I just picked it up for the cover. And this I found, I've wanted to read more Ruth Ozeki, and this book I found in one of the little lending libraries, you know,
What
in the
does it
neighborhoods.
say?
The Book of Form and Emptiness.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that is correct.
Winner of the 2022 Women's Prize for Fiction. Nice.
Yeah. So lots. Oh, and then I'm really excited. I picked up Dominion, which a friend of mine recommended very highly last year, and it just happened to be at the library. So I have a lot I want to read. I just had to get through all the research for this episode
Before.
Okay.
So where are we starting today, Brenda? Professor Brenda. What are we learning? I did my homework.
It's Professor Buchanan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, whatever. I go by my first name because I work with kids.
That's right.
So even if I
work
was
with
a
adults
doctor,
who act
I
like
would
kids.
be Dr. Paige. Professor Buchanan, where shall we begin?
Okay, very excited. So months ago now, we had our first episode doing 100 years of dystopian literature. So a book from each decade.
Was it months ago?
In my head, it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it was November.
Okay.
Or early December, and it's late February now.
Yeah, okay.
So we're coming back now because we actually started with, and I put them behind my head so we remember. Just a quick review. We started with 2020's selection, Land of Milk and Honey, and then Station 11 by Emily St. Mandel, written in 2014, and then Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood, 2003.
My favorite of all the ones we've read from
And
this
then,
exploration.
Not pictured here today, but I who have never known, we who have never known men. We've never known Ben. But also
It's a different book.
It's a different book. We'll write it, don't worry. That's from the 90s, and then our 80s choice was Octavia Butler. So today we're actually, that's 50 years. We're actually covering 60 years because I wanted to actually start.
I can put them behind my head.
Okay.
We have them in frame.
Oh, yeah. We're going to start in the 1920 now and move up to where we left off because I believe this book from the 1920s is so impactful on the arc of sci-fi dystopian literature that came after the next 100 years that we have to start with it. Yeah. And I also forced Paige to read it so she can talk with me about this one.
Well, she didn't force me. She asked me to. She said, I think you'll like this one. So I said, okay. And I did.
Yeah, I guess I can't force you to read anything.
Yeah, that's true. I would have said no if I really didn't want to.
So,
but I trust your recommendations. Also, I was going to say that not just you believe, but like within this book that we're about to show, they have 3 of like the largest sci-fi fantasy writers who are writing about how impactful this book was to them.
No, I mean, I'm saying that based on research
based
of these
on
authors.
reality.
And I have I've taken notes. You're going to see me looking down at my computer.
That's okay.
But this was published in 1920. Although I have found different dates on different books. One place said 1921, one said 1920. It was not, it was written by Yevgeny Zamyatin. I don't know if I am saying that correctly. I have not found his pronunciation.
It's called We.
Long deceased. It's called We. And it wasn't published, so it was written in Russia. It was not published in Russia until 1988, I want to say. Written in 1920, or came out in the US in 1921. So this is the book we're going to talk about. But before I give you all my history and nerdy knowledge, let's do first impressions, because I read this quite a few months ago now. Paige just finished it. So impressions, Paige.
Impressions. It's like I thought about this all week, and even right before we did this, and I had thoughts aplenty, and now whoosh, right out of my head. I would say, I'm remembering now. It was very funny. I remember I brought that up to her. It's like there was many times where I was like laughing out loud with this novel.
I have some quotes that I wrote down because they were just so good.
Do it.
Do a quote right now?
A funny one? Yeah.
I don't know if I have
Good timing.
Funny one right here.
Oh, okay.
No, I think these are more serious ones.
Okay, never mind then. I didn't write down any of the funnies because I listened to it. So it's hard for me to like, obviously pause it. I listen to it in the morning when I get ready to, so it makes it hard for me to take notes on it. Anywho, I thought it was funny. I thought it was interesting. I thought the ending was very interesting, like how he chose to kind of wrap it all up. I don't know, are we
let's not do spoilers.
Okay.
Let's talk about the arc of the book.
Yeah, I thought the ending was really good. I definitely was like, did I not understand it? I kept like thinking that maybe I didn't understand it, and then I talked to Brenda, and she's like, no, you understood it. And I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, as much as one can, it's a book in translation, and we did not live in... So this was written after the Russian Revolution in 1917, so some historical context. Bolshevik Revolution. There was a period of propaganda, a little bit of literary freedom followed it, and then it was right back to a lockdown. And I have this quote from one of my I've looked at a bunch of literary articles about this book, and one person referenced that during this period in Russia, Soviet Russia, writers were called upon to be engineers of the human souls, helping to produce the new Soviet man. So literature at that time was propaganda. This was not.
One of the essays at the end, so they have a foreword by, this copy specifically has a foreword by Margaret Atwood, and then at the end they have two essays, one from George Orwell and the other from Ursula Le Guin, Le Guin. And the one Ursula did, my best friend, she said he wasn't living in Russia when he wrote it.
Oh, no, that is right. He had lived in Russia, but he was not living in Russia. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's because I had asked Brenda originally how did he get it published outside in like the 1920s, but it's because he wasn't living there at the time.
Yeah.
And he got it published in Europe first, I think.
I have that he returned to Russia in 1917 and then was in Russia for a period. We can do a whole separate thing on the history of Yevgeny.
Yeah.
But talking about the book, so the book is about fascism, totalitarian governments, and the whole idea is we, and to give you kind of
not I.
A gist of the book, some of the quotes is the only way to rid a man of crime is to rid him of freedom. And that is like the belief. Like, I think there's lines that literally in the book say freedom is slavery, which is something you see repeated. George Orwell, 1984, exact same line.
The main character often thinks about how did people do XYZ before when you didn't have it controlled and ordered. It was pure chaos before.
Yeah.
Like, that's how freedom is looked at. It's like, that must have been pure chaos. Why would they ever do that? And then he starts having some free thought, and he thinks he's sick.
Yeah. If you have any kind of imagination, you are sick and you are at risk of being, I don't know if they actually say killed, but the book is made up of this man's logs in his, I guess, journal. And as he's logging, I was going to say blogging, but clearly not. He's also starting to hear his own thoughts, and then he starts to feel kind of like a guilt around, oh my gosh, I'm having creative thoughts. How dare I? This is not okay. And part of the government, so everything is supposed to be logic and numbers. Math is very big, which again is a theme you see in future books. One kind of interesting thing about the society is that you are assigned to your sexual partners. So you are matched to someone, and it's not for like a marriage, it's for the logical purposes of having sex for that drive. And you are given tickets of windows when you're allowed to have it if you want to. And for the period of that window, you're allowed to close the curtains in your house. But otherwise, everything is always
You're always being watched by everybody else.
Yeah. Which, if you see on the cover, this is cool because it's a giant eyeball. More thoughts I have. All the things.
Random, not really related to the book, but random. I think I said I listened to this, and for whatever reason, the narrator did not sound like him, but for whatever reason, the main character I pictured, not Morgan Freeman.
Martin
Friedman?
Martin
Friedman. Okay. I pictured Martin Friedman, so if you read this, you're welcome, because that's now who you're going to picture. There was something about him, specifically him in The Hobbit. There was something about the way that man's cadence of speaking reminded me of Martin Friedman in The Hobbit. Also, he has like really hairy hands, so hairy feet. Hobbit.
Great commentary. But
well, he doesn't like his hands.
He does not like his hands.
A lot.
He talks about them a lot. So at the beginning, he's doing his life, living it the way he's supposed to. He has his assigned partner. When they get their pink tickets, they have sex.
And he's the creator of something important.
Yeah, he's the creator. God.
I know.
You just read
something
it.
wall.
Tell me. Oh, the green wall.
No.
That's
not what it's called.
Well, there's something else because I have a couple lines in the book. Well, one, the woman he's paired with and is supposed to be in love with, he refers to her as her beauty and being that she's got a simple, round mind. Because too much intellectual is bad. But, like, again, pretty early in the book, he's talking about life and humanity, and he says, walls are the basis of everything human. And again, it's just like 1920s, and it's a dead ringer for what the rhetoric we're hearing in the U.S. right now around walls. And in this book, there is they call it the green wall. That's not what he's building. I know what you mean.
No,
but there is a green wall.
Yeah, you don't go outside the wall.
They believe, the only thing that is beautiful is rational and useful. So again, no creativity, no play, no, like, not hedonism purely for hedonism. So he does meet someone who he has an affair with outside of pink slip hours, who ultimately he finds out is part of a resistance movement. And that's kind of the course, I guess, as much as we'll say, of kind of how you watch him come and go through his thinking.
She's kind of like the catalyst for imagination coming back into his mind, and he definitely has
passion.
Yeah, he has
which is not
a lot of different feelings about that, a lot of anxiety about it.
He is. What did you refer to him?
He's
as?
a simp for her, 100%.
Paige was so annoyed.
To a degree where I was like, oh my God, how many chapters do we need to listen to this man? Good God.
Yeah, he just, like, because he's never had actual passion before, but he's stupidly.
It's ridiculous.
Stupid.
It's ridiculous.
And she's sleeping with his best friend.
The book does move away, but I was like, at my end, I was like, is this what the book is? Is a man being a simp? Why is this so foundational? And then it moves away, and it was like, okay, it is important that he is a simp for her, but it is annoying.
But the rhetoric, I think that you see repeated through time is this, like, freedom is evil because that's what leads to scary things and to badness. So, like, you need control. Rational thought is what is beauty. Simplicity is beautiful, and not in, like, a Zen kind of way, but in a, like, you should not have intellectual thoughts. And then throughout the book, you have these motifs of the wall. And then the election process. And I just have to read this. Sorry, I took so many notes. But he has this area where he says, and they talk about the benefactor.
Oh, yeah.
That's with a capital B.
Yeah. He's
and they
the
say,
leader.
He says, they say the ancients carried out their elections in secret, hiding like thieves.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Why all this secretiveness was needed has never yet been fully explained. Most probably, the elections were connected with some mystical, superstitious, or maybe even criminal rites. But we have nothing to hide or be ashamed of. We celebrate them openly in the daylight. I saw how everybody votes for the benefactor, and everybody sees how I vote for the benefactor. Which, again, I was like reading this, I'm like, this is what's happening today.
He also says that it's just like the benefactor is going to keep being the benefactor. The voting is just like, what is the word I want? It's like symbolic.
Yeah. Because everyone will. Nobody would never not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, I mean, I feel like I could talk a whole episode about this book, but we have 6 books.
Yeah, we have other books, and we're not doing spoilers, so like I feel like that's
a great.
It is very good. I really liked I suggest this specific version because it does have. I really did enjoy hearing all of these other authors' thoughts on this book.
I read this version, this translation, I should say, and a different translation, and I do like this translation better. It's why I had Paige read this one. So the translator is Bela Sheyevich, and I just found I actually would kind of go back and forth between the two translations I had, and I found this one, it just had a lot more rhythm to it, I think, and some of the choice of words I felt like were way more poignant in this translation. So highly recommend.
Yeah.
If you want to know where dystopian lit came from. And I forgot I was going to give you a little history of dystopian lit. Do we even have time for me to do that?
Yeah. That's the whole point of this. I literally have been waiting. Remember in the first episode, I said, teach me, and then you said later,
wait,
teach me.
Before the term dystopia came into use, the term was actually cacotopia.
Oh.
Cacotopia, am I saying that? Sure. Which means the same, it's the prefix in Greek, and it means the same thing as dys, D-Y-S, meaning bad, difficult, wrong. And no one's for sure when it came into being, but we know the book Utopia by Thomas More, written in 1516, and it has the idea of utopia, which is the perfect Eden. Mm-hmm. And then there was a speech by John Stuart Mill in the House of Commons in 1868, which he was talking about his political opponents and calling them, saying it's too complimentary to call them utopians. And he said they ought rather to be called dystopians, meaning the worst of all the worst, or cacotopians. And so that's the first recorded time it was mentioned.
Of the word.
Yeah, and it basically, the idea of dystopia is the worst of what society could be when the worst happens. To go back to kind of the roots of the word and what it referred to, dystopia, just to give you the Oxford English Dictionary term, now that we're talking about what it actually means, I have it. It's an imagined place or state in which everything is unpleasant or bad, typically a totalitarian or environmentally degraded one. So
How funny.
Yeah, why is that funny?
If you're in America, that's your... Yeah.
That's why we're doing the 100 years.
Everything is bad.
But that is honestly what prompted me to look at 100 Years of Dystopian Lit, because again, this was written in 1920, and it is exactly what we're hearing today.
Yeah, and it's very readable.
The worst has happened and continues to happen, and we'll talk about that theme as we go through some of these books. But this is largely seen by most authors as the first great dystopian novel. So get your footing here.
Yeah.
The next
Don't let the year throw you off, because it read like a modern day
It read
novel.
so, especially this translation.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying that. This translation specifically. Okay, so our 1930s choice, Paige did not read.
I only read 2 of them because I'm not a scholar.
You are a scholar in different ways.
In my own thing.
Yeah.
In my own thing.
Yeah.
We don't need to have
Let's
a
talk
school
about
psychology.
Sometimes we do. It comes into play with books. But the next book I won't go on as deep, because again, we have 6 books to get through today. But I wanted to pick dystopian books from different parts of the world, because I wanted to see, based on what was happening in different countries, what writers were writing about as the worst imagined state. Because normally it's based on what we know, which is why I think dystopian literature is much easier, not easy to write, but easier than to write a utopia. Because it's pretty hard to imagine everything working out.
What perfect looks like.
Yeah.
Because even for your perfect wouldn't be the same as someone else's.
Yeah, exactly. Well, episode over.
But I guess your awful would be the same.
No, not necessarily.
No, I know, because there's obviously people who like fascism.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I don't have the book on hand because this book is not in print anymore. It's from China.
Did you read it?
I did an interlibrary loan. They had 1 copy available. I tried to buy a copy. It's hundreds of dollars. It's called Cat Country by Lao She.
I do remember you reading this one.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild. It was written in 1932, and Lao She is the writer's pen name. It is a very thinly veiled satire on what's actually happening in China at the time. And just to give you kind of some depths of understanding, the writer themselves, they were born in, I think, 1899, and they died in 1966 in the Cultural Revolution. And the official reports say they committed suicide, but it's believed that they were murdered for their beliefs.
Wow.
Because they were an academic, they were a scholar, and they were writing against what was happening in China at the time. So
were they writing in China and getting printed in China?
This one, I believe he was in the UK. I don't have my note on this, but I had it somewhere. When he wrote it, I don't have it written, or I can't find my reference for it.
Okay.
But the premise of the book is a spaceship crashes on Mars, and only one person survives.
I don't know why, but my brain just was like, did they know about Mars back then? Okay. I don't know why. Okay. That's what my brain did. And, then immediately was like, you're dumb.
Stop. Stop right there. So this character crashes on Mars, and Mars is populated. And in the countries particular on Mars where they land, it's populated by cat people, thus cat country. And these are very descriptive. They look very humanoid, but they have cat heads.
So like Cats, the movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but okay.
But I'm sure you've seen the images and how awful
I don't know. Well, maybe they are hurry. He gets very descriptive about how, I just tried to combine furry and hairy.
It's okay.
Hurry. That's what I said. But even for me reading it, not knowing a lot about the political situation of China in that time period, it's very obvious if you know even a little bit what they're talking about. And the last book that was in print has footnotes for each chapter that kind of says, here is what this is satirizing in China at the time. So I actually do recommend it. It's a weird book. It's very clearly, so this society of cats, they have, let's see, what are they called here? There's so many interesting things. The reverie leaf. So they have these reverie trees, and they eat reverie leaves, and that's all they eat. They don't actually eat food anymore, and it's basically an illusion for opium.
Oh, okay.
And because of eating reverie leaves all the time, they can't think, and their schools don't have teachers because the children kill the teachers. Oh. And every chapter is a take on some part of society that Lao She is critiquing. So in a sense, it's funny because it is dystopian. And it's sci-fi. It's on a planet with these cat people, but it is very much about the present state of things in China. I don't want to go too far into this. Let me just see if there's anything. Oh, there's this quote. This is when you were saying the last book was funny. I was thinking of this quote from Cat Country. Some of these older books are also pretty sexist. He says, in sum, with regard to women, my attitude is of Confucius with regard to ghosts and spirits. Respect them, but keep them at a distance.
Agreed.
And then on the reverie leaf, which is kind of the biggest theme throughout the book, one of the lines says, although the leaf can cure a number of serious diseases, it does have one peculiarity. It will cure an individual, but it will kill a whole society. And within their talk about the reverie leaves, there's also the talk about the other nations that came in and introduced the leaf, which again, China, what was happening in China with England, and so it's pretty interesting. And again, it is a very weird book, very bizarre, grotesque, I would say, in many ways, but an interesting read. And also
impossible to get a hold of.
Something that made me pause is at one point he references one of the cat people as a sex pot, and I thought, no, they were not using the word sex pot
in the same way
in the 1930s. No, they weren't.
Oh.
It dates back as far as 1929. How weird is that? Fun fact for the day.
It was actually new slang.
New slang, yeah. Okay, so that's Cat Country, and we're gonna keep on moving on, because there's just gonna be a lot of me talking. You're gonna have to start.
I've been talking.
And the next two are just me
I
again.
thought people in the 1930s didn't know about Mars.
It's great.
I'm contributing great things here.
So 1920s, 1930s, we're now in the 40s. Something else I did as I was doing this research is I looked at all the other books that were being published in those years that were considered dystopian, to kind of see what are the contemporaries of these writers. At the same time that Cat Country came out, you've got Brave New World. That was the same decade. It Can't Happen Here by Sinclair Lewis is a pretty well-known one. Anthem by Ayn Rand. And then Invitation to a Beheading by Vladimir Nabokov. I can never say his last name. I had a hard time picking out a 1940s book because I didn't want to do 1984 because it's so well known. But I also struggled to find a book that I would actually say, like, go read this, everyone. Some of the books I sampled were, I read, I'll probably finish reading this one. I'm most of the way through it. Darkness at Noon by Arthur Koestler. This research said it was dystopian, but I, on reading it, don't think this counts as dystopian because it's literally recounting a fictional version of the Moscow show trials that happened in the 30s. So it's kind of historical fiction. So I don't think it counts as dystopian. And then I really have been wanting to read Ben Sinister by Vladimir Nabokov. I like other of his works. This is the third time I have tried to read this book. It's so pedantic. I want to like it. I want to read it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. So those two, and then a third book that I read is the first adult book by Roald Dahl. It is called, where's my list here? Sometime Never, A Fable for Superman.
That's a good name.
It's not in print anymore, and Roald Dahl's got issues of his own with anti-Semitism, so I'm not going to go into huge detail on him, but it's basically an adult version of the Gremlins, and it's post-World War II, so this is the 40s, and Roald Dahl was actually a fighter pilot. He was an ace fighter pilot, so the first half of the book is these pilots in Battle of Britain, and it's very descriptive. I'm like, okay, when I was reading it, I didn't know he was a fighter pilot. And I was like, oh, clearly this person, the way he describes nausea and claustrophobia in a plane is so descriptive. That writing is really good. But then, as he's flying his plane and dodging bullets, he realizes there's these little gremlins wearing bowler hats with horns sticking out of them using suction cups on their shoes on his plane.
Oh, great.
And the whole premise of the book is the gremlins come and are trying to take over the humans during World War II and then realize, oh, let's just go back underground and let the humans kill themselves. And then the second half of the book is the humans kill themselves. Oh. It ends in nuclear...
The gremlins were right.
It ends in nuclear war, which destroys the 20th century civilization. And then the gremlins come above ground and take over until they eventually die too. That's the premise of that book. But the thing of note that I wanted to call out about that is it was the first book that wrote about nuclear war after the atomic bomb. The first full adult novel, which is just kind of...
So it was the late 40s?
No, it was late 40s, 1948. Okay. But otherwise, it's actually kind of known as a critical failure. But the book that I recommend...
What do you mean by critical failure?
It's badly written.
Oh, okay.
It never was reprinted.
Okay, gotcha.
And even in interviews, Roald Dahl's like, don't read that book, don't reprint that book.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. But I just wanted to mention it as the other writings that were happening in the 40s. But 1984 is a legend for a reason.
Yeah, that's the one.
You have read this, yeah?
Yeah, no. I know the story.
Do you?
Big Brother.
Tell me the story.
There's Big Brother. He's watching you.
That's all you need to know. Oh my God, we're already very deep into this, so I'm not going to go in because you probably know about Big Brother watching you. But this is 1949, and interestingly, his book Animal Farm came out in 46 and won the Hugo Award of that year.
I did know that, weirdly.
That it won the Hugo?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I think I was looking at Hugos one year and was looking at all of them and saw that one.
But the big thing that relates again to present day in this, which I think I read somewhere that libraries have seen a surge in people putting holds on 1984.
Well, they also just created a dramatized audiobook of it too with Andrew Garfield.
But that's part of it though.
Yeah.
There's a search since the 2016 election with Trump.
Oh,
they've seen a search. They've been reprinting it because it's so similar to what's happening. So the whole thing in here is newspeak, surveillance, propaganda, programming, control of communication. The main character works in the Department of Ministry of Truth, where he rewrites history. And that's, I feel like, as much as we need to say on this, even though there's so much we could say. I'm going to move on.
Okay, 1950. Let's do it.
Very pointed at me. Okay. I should never tell Paige what to do. She does not like it. Neither do I. That's probably why we're friends. Let me facilitate you. Okay.
It came out sassier than
Brenda,
I needed.
what did you think? Okay.
But seriously.
I wish my notes were more organized, but they're not. Okay, so we are now jumping to the 50s. Mm-hmm. Oh, for a second I thought I ripped my book and I was really worried.
Yeah.
Canticle for Leibowitz, 1959. This is by Frank Miller. I always get it wrong. Frank M. Miller Jr. No Frank. There's another Frank who writes a lot in this era. Walter M. Miller Jr. Junior.
I was gonna be like, what a dork to make that your actual author name.
So this book also won a Hugo Award, I believe.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
I'm
cool.
making that up.
You did have me put this on my list as well, but then you told me not to read it.
I just think it. Okay, so a few things about this book. It's a great book, and if you are interested in like where dystopian lit came from and the history of the pantheon of books, blah blah blah, it's a great one to read. It does get a little dense. It originally was written as shorts, so it was like 3 short stories, and at the end of writing these serial parts, the author realized, oh, I actually wrote a novel and this should be a novel.
Yeah.
But I will say, I learned that after I read it, because there's sections, so like fiat lux, that's my great Latin pronunciation. One of the books, they jump in time. This is over many civilizations.
Oh,
and
that's
so
kinda cool.
like the first book was a really easy read, and I was fascinated, and then I was so jarred by the setting change in the second book that it took me a while to kind of go
Get back into it.
okay, what am I doing here? Yeah, but what I want to say quickly on like what was happening around the 50s in dystopian lit. This is the same era of Fahrenheit 451.
Oh.
Ray Bradbury, which also won a Hugo.
Interesting.
Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut was 1952. Lots of other Alas Babylon, which also won a Hugo by Pat Frank, which I started to read.
Wait, these are all other dystopians or just books?
No, these are dystopian
okay.
novels from the same decade.
Okay.
And I sampled some of them before settling on this one. I mean, I've read Fahrenheit 451, but Alas Babylon, I didn't finish. It is good. It is aged, and by aged I mean there's a lot of racism in it.
Yeah.
And it's even kind of called out, but it's still not excusable.
There's a book I tried to read from the 60s from a very famous author whose name is escaping me, but like she used the vernacular of the time, and it was like, I can't read this.
And I do think, so the Alas Babylon, the copy I read was like a very old copy, and I have seen reprints of it where they have edited out a lot of those things.
To make it more readable to a modern audience.
Also, though,
changes the book.
Not because it should be that way, because the author is who the author is.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, this book I thought was so interesting because it is set in, it's also, okay, pause.
Okay.
So our first book, was totalitarian government, groupthink, propaganda. And then we had Cat Country, which was also totalitarian government. And the last book, 1984, and this is all after World War I, the rise of fascism, Stalin, so very specific to the times. We're now in the 50s, and now we're talking about nuclear fallout. So just thinking again about what's happening in the world at the time of these dystopian books. So Canticle for Leibowitz is set in the depths of the Utah desert.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
And they and they refer to something called the flame deluge, and the flame deluge is basically nuclear disaster that wiped out civilization, mostly. And over centuries and centuries, and I don't know how many years they say, the world has tried to come back and rebuild and civilize and rebuild and fall apart and rebuild. And so you start in an abbey.
How do they survive?
They don't go into that.
Oh, okay.
They eat, or maybe they do, and I just don't remember. But that's not the
cockroaches of the world made it through.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hold on, let me get to my notes again because my memory. Okay. So basically, after the fallout, there was this movement against culture and technology that led to the development of a nuclear weapon. And so there were mobs in the book, rampaging mobs went and kind of killed everyone that had to do with science and technology and destroyed all books. And so they like only wanted the simpletons to live. So again, this anti-intellectual for fear of what it will lead to. But the book starts in a Catholic monastery that it's called, the Albertian Order of Leibowitz. And this order is monks that safeguard remnants of science and technology. And so like they have sacred scripts that they've preserved from being burned. And they're like poring over them, trying to decipher them. And it will be like the manual for a wash machine. But like they don't know.
They don't know.
Like, oh my God, this could be the secret to like, because they don't have light anymore. And they're trying to figure out how to produce light. And they're poring over these things. So it starts with a monk, and
it's kind of interesting though, because like nowadays, not that I could make a light bulb, but like when you're in elementary school, you make lights. You know what I mean? That's like something you learn very young. So it's interesting that in his story, he's having them not know how to do that.
Well, they're reduced to simpletons. They have no mark of anything.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I missed that they. Wait, why were they reduced to simpletons?
The angry people killed all the smart people.
Oh, so the cockroaches of the world did. Okay, got it. Okay, I'm caught up. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's huge backlash against technology, science, anything science related.
Oh my God, that's on the nose.
Again, this is why you go back and read, because it's so tempting. Not that it's excusable or that we should go along with anything that's happening, but it's not new in the world.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so
there's always been people that are afraid
a lot
of the same
themes
things.
Around also church and state, because it's definitely a very church-run society now. And through the 3 different parts, you visit different century civilizations over time since the flame deluge who are trying to preserve technology and figure out, I think they eventually make light, and it's this huge thing, and they're worried about being destroyed by the tribes because there's all these warring tribes. Really interesting book, very different from anything I'd seen in, I think now I see more like monastical sci-fi.
What does that mean?
I just made it up. But like dystopian books that build off of monastic cultures. Like monasteries.
Oh, okay. I don't know that word.
Yes,
right
I'm very religious, so I know.
But now I do.
Yeah, so this won it was written in the 59, but it won the 1961 Hugo Award. So that was my 50s choice. Again, Fahrenheit 451 is wonderful, but I do assume most people have read it.
Fahrenheit 51? No.
Okay.
But I do know that's the book burning book.
That is the book burning book. What I will say, though, is if you haven't read Fahrenheit 451, read it. I think you'll be surprised, kind of like at how readable it is and how quickly. It's a very quick read, and it's very good. But also, so is this one. So that's my 50s choice. Let me see if there's anything happening that I want to call out historically. Okay, well, we're entering 50s, 60s now, and just kind of giving you the range of what's happening in the world, a very slim range.
I have a question about the 60s book, because when you were saying that mobs took over, it made me have
you mean the 50s?
An intrusive thought. No, I mean the 60s. I was saving the thought because it wasn't relevant to the 50s. But is A Clockwork Orange considered a dystopian novel?
It is.
Okay, and you have that as one of the ones that came out around that time.
It is. Let's see. I have it in my list. I didn't choose. So Clockwork Orange, is he 60s?
I'm pretty sure it was the
62.
60s.
Anthony Burgess. Clockwork Orange, 62. He wrote a lot of
That is a book
dystopian.
I've read.
Oh, you read it? We
And
could have
seen
talked
the
about
movie.
that.
Yeah.
I have done neither because it's not one that I can handle for various reasons. But yeah, that was, that's cool. You can talk about that then. So 60s was a big year for dystopian literature and also sci-fi as a genre. In the 50s and 60s, we start to get into, I don't want to say shit before I read my notes because I'm afraid I'll make up events. Okay. Sputnik 1, so our first
Satellite.
the invention of the first personal computer, and then the Turing test for intelligence in computers is all coming about between the 50s, 60s, 70s. So we're having the results of World War II, fascism, nuclear war, and then the rise of technology starting to blend our dystopian themes together.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So, I had to pick, do androids dream of electric sheep? Do they?
We don't know.
We don't know. I don't think so. I don't think androids dream, according to this book, but you might disagree with me. So this is 1968, Philip K. Dick, who is a legend in the sci-fi world, and this is the book that Blade Runner is based on. And I will say it is, in some ways, very similar to the movie, but there is this theme throughout the whole story of because there's so little life left on the planet, again, there's like nuclear fallout and the Earth is uninhabitable in certain areas. Like the dust is radioactive, so you can only live in certain places, and most people have left and gone to the moon or other planets, and they have developed androids that are very close to humans and basically have enslaved them to be their servants and build up the new world. And then the book centers around, in case you don't know, Rick Decker, who is a bounty hunter who works for set in San Francisco, the police. And his job is to locate any androids posing as humans and give them what they call the empathy test. So think Turing test, to decide if they are human or android. And then if they are android, he retires them. So he kills them. Although they're androids, you might say they can't be killed. So the book takes place in 24 hours. It's one day, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
And it goes through his own questions around what is human and respect of life and living one's choices. And then I thought, because again, we're in the 60s, this made me think of a lot of themes around AI. Because clearly we talk about AI now and we're not thinking about androids.
Yeah.
But it is the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Of this like outsourcing work to something that is emulating intelligence, artificial intelligence, and then questioning the value of life. And so the thing in this book that I don't remember being in the films is the people who are left on Earth are obsessed with animals. Like it is very rare.
That's not in the films. No.
Obsessed. So not Philip. Rick has electric sheep on his roof that he keeps, but he pretends they're real.
How funny. I get it.
You get it. He pretends they're real because he's so embarrassed that he can't afford a live animal. Almost everyone has like saved all their money to buy one live object. It could be a spider.
They do talk about that a little bit in the second one.
Okay.
Not like in a sideways way.
Okay. I want to go back and rewatch them now that
you say live objects.
Yeah.
They focus on live objects. That being important, that like,
okay,
because there's like a thing that he has from his childhood. He's not sure if he's an android,
yeah, I remember that.
But it was alive at one point. That's important.
I do remember that. Yeah,
I don't know about the 1980s version because I don't remember that one as well.
But yeah, so most people can't afford them because there's so few, and so they will buy simulated cats and simulated dogs that require certain feeding because they want to emulate life. So a lot of themes around what is real and what is valuable and how we think about technology.
Yeah.
So that's
one I would read.
Yeah, I recommend. I read it this weekend pretty quickly. It's a very easy read, I would say. And I really liked it, which is interesting because I had first wanted to do this one for the 60s, which is The Man in the High Castle, also by Philip K. Dick. I think they're 6 years apart. This one is really dense. Really, really dense to read and a little hard to follow. I read half of it. I will probably finish it, but I picked up this and I was pulled in immediately. And
it's easier.
Again, just this is very much more like around World War II.
Yeah.
And this, because of, again, what's happening, I guess it all relates right now, but what's happening in technology right now, this is top of mind for me.
Yeah, that one was, what was the year? 1969, you said?
68.
Yeah, these were actually published quite close together.
Yeah, so Paige, tell me about our
read this
1970s choice.
So actually a lot of things you've said made me think about this one. So this is Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Le Guin. That's a really hard name to get out.
I have many favorite authors, but one of my favorite authors.
This is actually my first book by her that I've read.
Oh, yeah?
Because I think I tried The Left Hand of Darkness and I could not get into it.
Groundbreaking book, very dense to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but this one was great.
Yeah. It's my favorite of her books. I've read it like 4 times.
Yeah, this was definitely, and it's also a very quick one, written in 1971.
Tell us the premise. What is it about?
The premise is you have one character who has dreams that change reality, and he goes to a doctor who specializes in dreams and he's sent there because he's taking drugs to stop himself from dreaming, and that's illegal. So they're trying to find out why he's doing that. He gets sent to this dream specialist, and then the dream specialist first doesn't believe him. He's like, that's not real. And then realizes, actually, yes, you can change your dreams. And he's putting him under hypnosis and kind of now using that ability to change the world in the way that he thinks is best. It's very much a novel of like, you have one character, the dreamer, who's very passive and very middle of the road. And there's like a section of the book where they actually like talk about, they did like a personality test thing, and he's just middle of the road on everything. And then you have another character the doctor, who's very aggressive about his beliefs and like very pushy. And then you have another side character, a lawyer, who pops in too. But I would say like, it's a very interesting book.
I love this book.
Just a lot of the scenes are just him and this doctor in this room, and them sort of like arguing about like, he's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to change things. And then the doctor's kind of like, if you have this power, why aren't you using it?
Because he can change history.
Yeah,
like if he dreams that Hitler was killed, they can wake up and Hitler was killed. But then the whole book is about, well, even if you remove this thing, what are the reoccurring effects?
The repercussions of it. But like what made me think of it is like a lot of similar themes are happening in this book. Is there's climate is a big one, but like the thing that sort of like starts it all is, well, no, whatever. There's nuclear things in here. There's famine, there's disease, all of those things. And I also like that it does get weird.
It's very weird.
Like his way of solving, like the doctor will put him under and he'll be hypnotized, and then he'll say suggest something. But the way that the dreamer's mind fixes the problem sometimes is like, oh, we're in a weird place now. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's really quite good.
For example, at one point, there are turtle people.
Yeah, aliens come. And they live in these turtle suits. They're not actually turtles.
Yeah, right.
It's a suit.
They're aliens.
And they talk out of their arms.
Naturally.
Or at one point he makes everyone gray.
Yeah.
If you want to think about why he might do that. Why would everybody go gray?
Yeah.
What was
Trying
the
to solve the big problems of the time.
Yeah. What was the suggestion for that one? And then there is sort of like an event that starts it all for him, that starts making his dreams, him controlling his dreams, or his dreams coming to life, not controlling. Because he keeps talking about how he doesn't have control. It's like, you can suggest whatever you want, but I don't have control over how my brain fixes the problem. And then kind of at the end, you have a thing happen.
Yeah. But it's, there's how can we solve hunger? How can we solve war? How can we solve racism? All these things. And then, of course, the psychotherapist is trying to make himself rich and like make the life he wants as part of all these things.
All the things, yeah, as a bonus for himself. But it was really, really good. And it was like such a fascinating idea. And, you know, it's funny is I was reading it and I was thinking, wow, this would make such a good movie.
Yeah.
And then it has been made into a movie.
It has?
I just watched it. Yeah, well, first of all, I Googled, I wanted to listen to an interview with her talking about it because I like to do that when I like books. And I just put in Lathe of Heaven, and the first thing that came up was a movie that was made.
Really?
And then I saw an interview with her, and she was talking about, she was like, yeah, it was like, when they came to me and they said, we want to make one of your books into a movie, she was like, great, which one? And then they said Lathe of Heaven, and she was like,
really?
She was like, that one?
She's like, why not the Wizards of Earthsea?
She was just like, that one can't be made into a movie. It's too like in your head philosophical, and which is funny because the whole time I was reading it, to me it was very much a movie that would have been made in that time.
Yeah.
A character and his psychologist. That's like a very 1960s, 1970s movie to me. I feel like that happens a lot.
And dreaming and hypnosis.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, that obviously would be such a good movie. You have turtles, turtle aliens, people go gray. I was like, especially, I don't think they could have done it as well as they could do it now with like the technology.
So this movie was made a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was like, I haven't heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's like from the 70s or 80s. It's like very old. I didn't obviously watch the movie because it looked bad, but I would be very interested if someone remade it because I do think it would be a very good movie.
Yeah,
a very good sci-fi movie.
Again, this is like a pretty thin book.
But there's so much in it.
It's so good.
Packs a punch.
Really makes you think. It's one I go back
to. It's so good.
It was written in 1971, so just 3 years after she wrote or published Left Hand of Darkness, which won a Hugo Award, and then she won another one for this book in the year after it came out.
Okay.
So, very, I don't know, I just love her. She's, I don't even know what to say. I'm just a fangirl of Ursula K. Le Guin.
Yeah, and many of the things that she talks about in it, the problems are the same problems we're seeing today. Literally verbatim. Same things we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Not been solved.
Not been solved. Which I realize some people, because I've heard some people say, I don't like to read dystopian because I find it too discouraging that these are the same things. Mm. I don't know what it says about me, but I find it hopeful.
Yeah. The world is always ending somewhere.
It's always ending, and always there's always new chances, you know, and if you look back at all those times with the different things that were happening in the world that people thought it was as bad as it gets and the world was ending, you know, enough people stand up, enough people push against.
There's always a counter.
There's always a counter movement, and that in itself,
there's always a back and forth in the world.
Yeah, we haven't fully gotten to a point where we are fully controlled, everyone, by newspeak. I mean, it's getting there, it's trying, but we're not there. We keep fighting. So that brings us, again, this was a baker's century, which is not a phrase, but 110 years. So any last comments on that before I do a quick review?
No, I just definitely recommend. Very good. If you didn't like The Left Hand of Darkness and you're like, maybe this author's not for me, I definitely would suggest it. It was a very interesting, well-written book, and I enjoyed it. I listened to it, so the audiobook was good as well.
One thing I want to say is we did do all adult books for this dystopian episode, and I was reading different like New Yorker and literary journals about dystopian literature over the years, and I read this one article from the New Yorker that made me very angry, and it was basically talking about how in the 2000s dystopian YA lit exploded and how it has diluted the genre, blah blah blah, commercialized it and made it meaningless. I am really summarizing.
It's a weird opinion.
But I completely disagree. I think
I feel like many people would disagree with that opinion.
Yeah, and I'm like, sure, Hunger Games is commercialized. Sure, Divergent series is commercialized. But that doesn't mean that books like M.T. Anderson's Feed or Scythe by Neil Shusterman aren't groundbreaking, beautiful books.
It doesn't mean that like The Hunger Games wasn't.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it doesn't
just
have
because
its
it became
meaning.
A movie.
And just because it's for children.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah. So we didn't go, there's a lot of amazing
but like,
YA and middle
what
grade.
What a great vehicle to do dystopian and talk about a pushback.
Yeah.
Because it's always the younger people that are doing the pushing back. It's the old people that are doing the let's return to the old age.
It's the college kids. It's the high schoolers that are doing the walkouts and the protests and the cultural revolutions.
So it makes sense that they're the ones who are being impacted the most in terms of like, this is now the world we're being brought up in.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would be the ones who would also do the largest pushing back, and they have the energy to do it.
They have that, yeah.
And the hope and and they have all the things that you need to push back, whereas adults have to push against.
They have to push back plus.
Yeah, well, they have to push back against their self, and then against the government, against their own, like, whatever blocks that they have before they can push back against the government. But young people don't have as many barriers in the way.
Yeah. So, 1920s, we. 1930s, Cat Country on the screen. 1940s, 1984. 1950s, Canticle for Leibowitz. 1960s, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? 1970s, Ursula K. Le Guin, The Lathe of Heaven. 1980s, Dawn by Octavia Butler. This is so fun. I'm having so much fun. 90s, Jacqueline Harpman. Oh God, I do this every time. The one about men. We Who Have Never Known Men.
We Who Have Never Known Men, yeah.
Early 2000s, Orcs and Crake, Margaret Atwood, which, P.S., also in the 90s was Handmaid's Tale, which I want you to know was right around Roe v. Wade. So that should tell you about what was influencing that dystopia. 2010s, Station 11. 2020s, environmental dystopia, Land of Milk and Honey. There's 110 years of reading and books we recommend, which is, I think, the important part. I wanted to find books that I recommended from each decade and that I thought were fascinating and how they move the needle. So there are many others, but that brings us to
the end.
The end of a very long episode where we say the end goodbye.
Yes, this was great. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you are like, I'm going to read one of those books.
We'll be back soon with some lighter
Wait,
reads.
actually, no. We need to do, what was your favorite? Mine, I already said mine. Orcs
of all
and
of
Crake.
these? Oh, that...
Of all the ones we've read, what was your favorite? Mine was Orcs and Crake, and then second is Lathe of Heaven.
It's like asking me to pick a child.
Pick top three.
Okay, top two. These two. Lathe of Heaven and We.
Also, then definitely read this one.
Yeah.
It's crossover.
Yeah, these two, which are why I also
We was good too. Don't get me wrong. That would maybe be number 3 for me.
Yeah.
My top 2 were Orcs and Crake and Lathe of Heaven.
Yeah, I think those are probably, my favorite. Not just for like topic, theme, but readability as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that her voice and Margaret Atwood's voice are ones that speak to me.
And
the way they wrote it.
I love Margaret Atwood. I do. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, well.
And then once you read these, tell us your top 2.
Now we're going to do some light reading, because I feel like for the last 3 months I've been reading so many of these books to try to find a book from each decade I recommend. Yeah, I'm really ready for a break from dystopian living.
Yeah. We don't know what we'll pivot to. Stay tuned to find out.
I was trying to think of like something whimsical. The Little Prince. No.
Okay, well, that's our episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.